Hello everybody and welcome to this week in the CFL for week 1 for the recap. Let's start out with the scores. Montreal lost to the Saskatchewan Roughriders in overtime 54-51. Toronto Argonauts lost to the Calgary Stampeders 30-16. Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats 49-29. And the BC Lions defeated the Edmonton Eskimos 25-10. Over in the Eastern Division, Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the lone team with a win at 1-0 with 2 points. Montreal Alouettes are 0-1 with no points. Toronto Argonauts are 0-1 with no points. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats are 0-1 with no points. Take a look at the standings. Over in the West, BC Lions are in first place. They're at 1-0 with 2 points. The Calgary Stampeders are also in first place with 2 points. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders are also in first place with 2 points. The only team without a win over in the West are the Edmonton Eskimos at 1-0, and they have no points. So, now that we have the scores and standings, what are the thoughts for this week? Well, Montreal let one get away in their loss. They were up by 4 touchdowns in the third quarter, but they still found a way to lose. Toronto also gave one away. Although they didn't have the lead, they were down by a touchdown with a minute to play in the fourth quarter. And their quarterback goes on, fumbles the ball, and the defense takes it in for a touchdown. So, Toronto did not play as bad as the score said they played. Hamilton, boy, their returner returned 2 touchdowns. One off of a missed field goal for over 100 yards, and then another TD return for a touchdown off of the kickoff. As for Winnipeg, well, they were able to run the ball and they were able to throw the ball and they looked really good on defense. BC's kicker had 6 field goals in the win. Their only touchdown came off of a 61-yard touchdown by Jamal Robinson. And Jamal Robinson also played big. He had 167 yards on the ground. So, that's my thoughts for the week. My players of the week, I'm giving it to 2 people. Marcus Digpin of Hamilton. He had 2 touchdown returns. Both were over 100 yards. And Paul McCollin had 6 field goals in the win for BC. He tied his career record. And he now has 25 consecutive field goals. My week 2 preview. Toronto will be playing Winnipeg this week. Winnipeg needs to continue to balance their offense. They had a good running game and they had a good passing game. So they need to do both running and passing the ball on a balanced attack. Chad Owens for Toronto, he returned for a touchdown. I believe it was a punt return. And he needs to give Toronto good field position if they want to win. Toronto has a good offense. They just didn't find that click last week. They need to find it this week. Calgary versus Hamilton. Marcus Digpin should have a big day. Chad Owens returned a touchdown against Calgary last week. Look for Marcus Digpin to also return something for a touchdown. Calgary's defense should have a big day. Hamilton's quarterback was sacked a lot last week. Last week, Calgary was also able to get to the quarterback. And then Calgary should also have a good air attack. They threw the ball well, even though they didn't have a passing touchdown. They still were able to throw the ball well. Look for them to throw the ball excellent this week against a bad defense in Hamilton. Saskatchewan versus BC. Darian Durant should have a big day considering that he was able to hit all of his receivers for at least 50 yards. and then also he had a total of 478 yards passing, and he also ran for a touchdown, and he also threw for 5 touchdowns as well. Considering that he had to come from behind, just shows that he does have a good passing game and a good running game. And also another story from last week for Saskatchewan is Wes Katus had 112 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Saskatchewan needs to shorten up their defense if they want to win. They gave up 4 touchdowns in the air. For BC, Jamal Robinson had 167 yards. 61 of those yards came for 1 play on a run for the touchdown. That was BC's only highlight on the offensive end. Their defense is going to be scrambling a lot. And also, the Lions kicker had 6 field goals last week, so look for him to have another big day. 25 consecutive field goals for BC's kicker and Paul McCollin. Montreal will be playing Edmonton this week. Montreal has to continue to throw the ball well, and they also need to run the ball well as well. If Edmonton could keep Montreal on the ground, they should be able to win, or at least make it a close game. Edmonton needs to play better offensively if they want to win. So that's my Week 2 preview and my Week 1 recap. I'm Andrew Tanner saying goodbye and good night.